Good morning, everyone. My name is Mr.Selfcare, your host today, and I welcome everyone to this live YouTube show. We're having a special topic today. We are going to discuss about something that is really important, and that is caring for your eyes. These eyes are very important, and it is just important that we do justice to them. I am Mr. Selfcare as usual, your host of the day and your usual host. And I'm glad you're joining us from wherever you're watching this from, whether you're tuning in from on your phone, on your laptop, or even taking a break from your screen to care about your eyes. You're in the right place. Today's show is all about something many of us take for granted, the eyes. And until there is a problem on our eyes, maybe from blurry vision to digital eye strain to nutrition and long-term eye effects like cataract, we have got you covered. We are going to discuss tips, facts, and myths that affect our sight. Now, here's the best part. I'm not going to be doing this alone, but today I'm joined by two knowledgeable experts, very amazing people. Number one is someone whose specialty is in the eyes. In the land friend is people called the ophthalmologist, or someone that is in line to become that, who will be shedding light on the medical side of eye care. What's normal, what's not normal, and how to protect our eyes at every age, in the young ones, in the adults, and in the elderly. And on the other side, as usual, as a campaign of nutrition, because we believe prevention is now better than cure, we are going to be joined by a well-renowned nutritionist from LifeX Africa, who will help us to understand how what we eat actually shape how we see and the quality by which we see. And of course, we want to get you involved. We want to hear your thoughts on the show, and we will be asking you some questions. Please feel free to take or to participate in this show by putting your questions in the live comments, answering questions if you hear any, and make sure you drop your thoughts in the chat and don't be shy. And to start off the show, I want to ask everyone watching, how many hours in a day do you spend on your screen? How many hours in a day do you spend on your screen? But to kickstart our show today, let me have an introduction from my guests, and we shall start off from there. Yes, Dr. Abraham, introduce yourselves, and we start off the show.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Selfcare. I am called Abraham Nduhushere, and I'm really happy to be on this space. I am a medical doctor by training. Currently, I'm a resident or a doctor in Department of Ophthalmology. That's the department that is concerned with eye surgery, eye medicine, and the like, everything in between there. Yeah, so I'm really happy to be here, and I'm looking forward to sharing a lot with you today.
Okay, we are also glad to have you here today. And again, yes, Marka.
Hello, everyone. Good morning, Mr. Selfcare, and thank you for inviting us here. It's always a pleasure knowing that nutrition is at the center of every health decision, and us putting it forward it's a big deal for everyone who gets to at least put into action what we get to share. I'm Nanteza Nadia Malka once again, and my background is nutrition. I'm a nutritionist, a lactation consultant, and an entrepreneur. So today I'll be very glad to learn more from the ophthalmologist, and also to get to share with the audience what nutrition contributes to, the care and the health of our eyes. And I'll be very glad to hear from them as well. Looking forward to this. Thank you.
Okay. You're welcome again, and thank you so much for honoring our invitation, short-time invitation, to share with the public about eye health. Dr. Abraham, let me start with you. Take us through about this thing called the eye. How do we see the things that we see?
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Selfcare, for that wonderful question. So basic, I really want to simplify it as much as I can. The eye is what we can, like in our normal life things we can relate to, we can relate it to the camera. So when you think about the camera, you think about maybe it has a lens. It has that lens is probably protected by maybe some glass, yeah, in front of that. And then you probably have like a shutter controlling how much light enters that very camera. And it has maybe a film where the image is going to be formed. So it goes the same way with our eye. So our eye has has a lens of its own, a natural lens that works in the same way as the camera. Though things here are a bit more complicated with biology and all, it has a glass at the front, one that actually allows light in, one that we call the cornea, and it has a film at the back where the images are formed. Something we call the retina. Yeah, simply put, that is like the way I can simplify it. And then maybe you need to take this image you formed from the film and maybe transfer it to the computer where it can be interpreted. So we have a nerve taking those images from the retina to the brain where they are actually interpreted, and it is called the optic nerve. So usually how vision works is light enters your eye, yeah, through the cornea, and the lens is supposed to focus that light on the retina so that the image can be formed. So usually when that image is formed on the retina, then the retina has the mechanisms of transferring that image into electrochemical signals that can be transported to the back of the brain, yeah, where that image can be, yes, changed into vision. So usually what we see is perceived in the brain, but the images are formed on the retina. I don't know if I'm being very clear.
Yep.
Yes. So in a brief preamble, that is the eye. We have the elements allowing in light. We have the elements refracting the light or converging the light to form the image onto a certain screen, and then we have an element transferring that message of the image to the brain. And as we are going to see, you can have issues along any of those components that we just talked about. Yeah, briefly, that's what it is.
Okay. What are some of the challenges that we normally get with the eyes? What are some of the common challenges that we normally experience at your department?
Yeah, thank you very much. So like we've just seen, the eye can get issues along any of those components. And maybe to take us a little back, issues with the eye are very prevalent. The WHO estimates that about 2.2 billion people are visually impaired. And the interesting, or maybe the sad bit about this is about half of that, 50% of that visual impairment can be prevented. Yes. So we find that any of the components of the eye contributes to that blindness. Yeah. Case in point, we have refractive errors. When I say refractive errors, I mean issues with focusing the image on the retina. So we have components that are involved in refracting the light. So that's the cornea and the lens majorly. So if you have issues with any of those two, then you can always end up with a number of, I can call them disorders. And one of them, I think the most prevalent one is called myopia or short-sightedness. So if you are out there and objects at a distance are a bit blurry, but then the objects that are near, you can see them very well. Yes, there is a strong likelihood that you are actually short-sighted. You can have hyperopia. Hyperopia is farsightedness. So if the things at a distance are clear, but then you have issues looking at things that are very near, yes, then there is a strong likelihood that you are wrong-sighted. Then there is a refractive error that usually comes with age. Yes, as we progress, as we age, we get to our 40s, 50s, 60s. Yeah, it is called presbyopia, and it is usually near visual loss. Things to do with accommodating and all. Then we have astigmatism. Here you have the image not focused at the retina, but it is focused at different points in the eye before it reaches the retina. So there's kind of an aberration. Yes, so those are refractive errors. Then we can have issues with pressures of the eye. Just like we have blood pressure, the eye also has pressures of its own. Yeah, because it has this fluid in it that is produced there called the aqueous humor. So usually balances within this fluid can either elevate the pressure. Yes, we call it intraocular pressure. So that intraocular pressure can increase. Usually the normal is between 10 millimeters of mercury to 20 millimeters of mercury. So when it goes above that, we call it intraocular hypertension, and it's not really good. Usually when it is coupled with changes in the disc is like, simply put, like that part of the retina where the optic nerve actually exits the eye. Yeah, we have a disc there. So when there are changes within the disc, then we call it glaucoma. So glaucoma is not good. Yeah, because the blindness caused by glaucoma is irreversible. So it's very good to check that you actually, to have that checkup and make sure that you don't have any of these conditions. Then we can have issues with retina itself. The retina usually gets so in people with diabetes, people with hypertension, we can have changes because the retina is a vascularized tissue. It has vessels, and usually any issue with those vessels can cause problems with our sight or with our eyes. So you can have, there is something they call diabetic retinopathy, and it usually progresses in stages. I'm not going to go into the details of that. We have age-related things, something they call age-related macular degeneration, or abbreviated as AMD. We have a number of other things in very young children who are born preterm and they are probably on oxygen for some good time. It is very important that we check them for retinopathy or prematurity. Yes, because usually they get blindness because of, I can simply put it as disorganized growth of veins of arteries on their retinas. Yes.
Okay. Okay. Yes. Let us first take it at that point.
Okay.
Let us go dive into our topic of caring for this eye. You've told us the importance of the eyes. You've told us how we see and some of the common health challenges for our eyes. Now, let us talk about the common trend. Those are screens. It's like everyone, me and you, looks at a screen almost so many times in an hour, or actually every minute now. Let us start there, Dr. Abraham, before I come to the nutritionist. What is the maximum, the safest
Okay.
maximum, the safest maximum time that one is supposed to spend in front of a screen?
Thank you for that question. I'm not going to directly answer that because
Yes.
clearly I really think it is more of modulation and regulation. Yeah,
Mm,
what I'm going to say is we are in a digital age. So
mm,
clearly, right now, even if I told you to spend just 1 hour on your devices per day, you're not going to do it.
yeah.
Yeah, we find ourselves at a time where we actually spend like an average of 6 hours on our
Mm,
phones every day. It is
yes.
most probable that if you are not sleeping, you are on your device. It
Yes.
is either a computer or your phone, you're either working or you're entertaining yourself, or you're getting yourself out of boredom. Yeah, but one important hack I would really want to share with you is called the 20-20-20 rule. I don't know if you've heard of it.
No.
So yes, so usually because the issue with devices is, first of all, you are at a shorter distance. Like right now, I'm in front of my computer and it is
Mm,
just in front of me. What that means is, first of all, the lens in my eye is sort of like straining to convert, like to converge that light on my retina. Like there's a lot of energy used.
mm,
So every time you're focusing on your device, you're focusing at a very near thing. You
mm,
understand? Yes. So you're sort of like eye straining.
mm,
So usually the trick here is, if we are using our devices,
mm,
every 20 minutes, you look 20 feet away. 20 feet is about 6 meters for us, for those who use the other system. It's about
mm.
60 meters. Look 60 meters away for at least 20 seconds.
Marka, can you look 6 meters away? Okay. Okay.
Yes. So
Okay.
look at a distance of 6 meters for
Yes.
20 seconds. Now it is very easily memorable. 20-20-20. So
Mm,
yeah, when you're on your TikTok, after 20 minutes, look 20 feet away for 20 seconds. That gives, because every time you focus at a far object,
mm,
your eye relaxes. Imagine
mm,
like you are in a gym lifting metals, like there's that point where you have to relax, like to relax your muscles. And that is what the 2020 does. Like it gives that break to your muscles that are contracting the lens. Yes. And then the other thing is every time you are using the screen, because I mean, the things are usually interesting. You're watching very nice TikTok videos. Your eyes tend to be glued to the screen. So in the meantime, as you're looking at all that stuff, the rate at which you blink naturally doesn't happen. Like you don't get to blink enough. And I don't know whether we realize it, but we always like naturally blink like almost like 3 times every like 10 seconds. And blinking is very important in that so there's something called the tear film. On top of the eye, there is a certain, there are tears. And these tears have, they are important. First of all, they have antibacterial properties. They protect our eyes against disease. They have nutrients, because this very cornea, the glass on top, is not vascularized. Like it doesn't have blood vessels. So it receives oxygen and nutrients directly from that tear film. So once you do not blink enough, it means you're not feeding your cornea or that outer eye enough. Yeah, what is going to result is that you are going to get what they call dry eye syndrome. And people usually actually come a lot to clinic with this kind of stuff. Your eye becomes dry, and this has a number of issues, yeah, connected with it. So once you're using your devices, please always make sure that you actually consciously blink, because subconsciously you're going to forget that. Make an effort to blink. So we said 2020. Yeah, don't forget that. Then make sure you blink. Then there is something to do with the screen brightness. Our devices have where you can adjust. So it is also not good to turn your computer, maybe your phone brightness like to the maximum or something. Tune it to the most, how should I call it? Like let it be moderate, let it be something you can use. Not for it too dim so that you can strain to read the things or something, and also not bright that it is actually going to, yeah, cause harm to your eyes. And every time you are reading, let's say you're on your computer reading something, yeah, make sure the room is well lit. Don't be in darkness like at night, and then you switch off the lights, and your computer is the only thing giving out the light, and you're just focused on that. Then the other thing is it is very advisable that if my computer is here and I stretch my arm like this, yes, I should be able to stretch it and not touch my screen. What I'm trying to say here is your device should be at least an arm length for computers. Yes, so that's at least like some manageable. That's yes, that gives you enough distance that you do not cause, yeah, a lot of straining to your eyes. Yeah, maybe then one other thing is to take breaks. Don't be on TikTok for 4 hours, 5 hours, because it's actually possible without you maybe putting your phone down, move out, grab something to eat, talk to your neighbors. Yeah, and maybe after 10 minutes, come back and continue with your entertainment or continue with your reading or whatever it is that you are doing with your device. Yes, so take a break. And then there is this current trend of 2-year-olds having pads and what. Yes, it is causing a lot of nearsightedness. So it is very good to bring up children in the normal original way. Let them play with toys. Yes, let them play with their friends.
Yes.
Yes, then maybe as they get to school and they get older, then they can start using those devices because
Okay.
training at that
Mm.
very age, yeah,
Mm.
training at that very age is really not good.
Okay, Malcolm.
Mm.
Uh,
Ye-
we've we've all heard that carrots are good for your eyes. What's the science behind that, and what other foods are better for our side?
Okay, thank you so much. I'll start by saying that nutrition and eye health are highly connected.
Mm.
Like any other parts of our bodies, we highly need to understand the nutrition contribution for us to be able to mostly work on the prevention part. All
Mm.
these conditions the doctor has talked about, the macular degeneration, the cataracts, the dry eyes, all of them can actually be prevented if at all we utilize the nutrition aspects well and work with the advice that he has given us, in terms of our screen times and just the proper care of our eyes.
Mm.
So yes, every time we get to talk about eyes, it's literally about carrots, but there is more to that than just the carrots. The nutrition for the eyes is more to there is more to eat than just the carrots. However, the carrots having large amounts of vitamin A and carotene, they get to supply these elements that are needed in the eyes to design the retina and also to prevent blindness.
Mm.
So I think that was just like the way you see the different foods that actually contain vitamin A and in large amounts, but when we are approaching health, we get
Mm.
to, like the way the doctor said, that the 2020 rule, you get to use your 20 minutes on your screen and then you get to use your 20 minutes to look away in a distance. Find that if at least we get to do one good thing for our eyes, i.e., eat, carrots or vitamin A rich foods, we get to protect our eyes against blindness, and we also get to help it continuously work on itself, rebuild, and especially during the young age, to build the retina. When we look at the younger children, normally, seriously, there is no business for a parent giving a younger child, like a 3-year-old or even a 5-year-old, a screen. And it's not surprisingly, it's not only detrimental to the eyes but also to the brain. So you find that the advantages are way less than the disadvantages. It is at this point during childhood that we want this baby to get as much vitamin A as possible. That is from we supplement from 6 months to every after 6 months for the first 5 years. But unfortunately, that is not what is being done in the country right now. Few of our parents get to take back their children even after a year. I think most of the parents do the first 6 months and then the second 6 months. But it would really be nice for the continued supplementation to at least 5 years to really help this eye build pretty well and avoid the risks of future eye conditions. Now, vitamin A is not, or carotene, beta carotene, it's not the only needed element of food when it comes to our eyes. Most of all the nutrients are needed because of their different, support system. When we look at zinc is helping in the formation of melanin for the eyes. And this is it's a protective pigment for the eyes. Get when we look at vitamin C, we are increasing the oxidative chances of the eyes to prevent as many to reduce the risks of cataracts as possible. You get so we find ourselves relatively needing every other element of food to ensure that we get to supply all the nutrients the eyes need, like any other parts of the body, to just to ensure that it does the work it's supposed to do. It produces the energy it's supposed to produce to be able to see. It gets to nourish itself, to get its veins or blood vessels working pretty well without the pressure. You understand that when we get broadly into food or into a diet, we see that we want to reduce as much sugars and excess salts as possible, because when we get the sugars, a lot of the sugars in our bodies, we are increasing our chances of getting diabetes, type 2 diabetes. And with the salts, we're also increasing our chances of getting hypertension. Now, all these huge conditions are not only affecting the parts that are known, should I say, but they get to affect almost all the parts of the body, including the eyes. And this is where we're going to find our eyes failing to see because probably of pressure, or because there is a lot of sugar that is being concentrated in the vessels of the eyes. So in all this, we find that we need a balanced diet, as we said last time. For us to be able to achieve a balanced diet, we need to be able to eat the vegetables, the carbohydrates, the proteins, and the healthy fats, especially the omega-3 fatty acids. These are really, really good for our eyes, and they are gotten from sources like the fatty fish, Nile perch, mukene or silverfish, the flax seeds. These are things that we can use to improve on our omega-3 supply to protect our eyes. And generally, the balanced diet, as seen, is going to help you regulate the amounts of nutrients that get into the body. If it means sugars, a well-balanced diet is going to help prevent excess sugars or less sugars. So with no excess sugars, we do not get to see our eyes being damaged by excess sugars in the blood. We get? And with no excess salts, lowering our risks of getting hypertension, we don't get to see our eyes being damaged by hypertension. So it's the first step is to help this young baby to get the supplementation they need for proper development of the eyes. Then it goes further to supplying a healthy diet or a healthy plate every serving to be able to supply just enough nutrients. When we look at a rainbow kind of plate, that is a plate that has different colors. It has a lot of the fruits that we need to have all the antioxidative and anti-inflammatory components of food to protect the eyes from, the different the risks to the different big conditions, especially when it comes to the cell damage of the eyes. So with just eating a rainbow, a balanced diet, even without someone knowing, they are already helping their eyes be healthy. And lastly, but not least, it would be the hydration. As we said, the dry eyes, we need water. We need the whole body needs water, and we need to be able to supply it with water, not only from the fluids like the fresh juices, the fruits from, let's say, watermelon or the oranges, because those are some of the fruits that really have high amounts of water, but also taking plain water, like just drink on your water. And we are running a drink water challenge for such reasons. Just drink your water, plain water. It will be enough to help you prevent some of these conditions. Yeah, I think I'll stop there for now.
Yeah. Abraham,
Yes, Prince.
how does screen time really affect our eyes in the long run? And is digital eye strain something that the public should be worried about?
Yeah, thank you for that. Yes, digital eye strain should be something we should really be worried about. So, like I said, usually when we are looking at our devices for that long, yes, we are increasing eye strain. And what eye strain does is you're overusing, let me use the word overusing, like the lens has to sort of like contract so that it can focus those rays. Yeah, so usually what happens with prolonged strain is you're going to have weakness of those fibers. They are called zonular fibers, like the zonules. Yes. So you're going to have a weak lens. Yes, and then the other thing is with those changes, you're going to actually develop a refractive error. Like I said, myopia. So myopia can be, yeah, like the long-term result of eye strain. Usually the frequent, the unhealthy device use is going to result into eye strain. And the eye strain is actually going to bring you all those problems. Someone is going to come and they tell you I have headaches and they are not resolving. They are frontal headaches. And then, like I said, dry eye syndrome. So in dry eye syndrome, you do not have that tear film, or it is there but it is not adequate. And there are usually very many problems that can result from that. First of all, your cornea is not well lubricated. It is not well nourished. You might end up we have corneal ulcers. Just like you can have gastric ulcers, here we have corneal ulcers. So you can develop wounds on your cornea, yeah, that are as a result of of of, of dry eye. And these tears usually have immunoglobulins. Immunoglobulins are like they are components in this tear film that help the eye actually fight, yeah, microbes, disease. So if you do not have enough of that tear film, then that's when you end up with infections, yeah, and infections of the eye are really not nice things. Usually when we get them, we tend to, especially in our setting, people tend to use weird things. I I don't know if you had it on program, but I really wanted to talk about self-medication.
Yeah, we are going to come to that. Shortly before we go there, Malka, if someone is full of processed foods and sugars, can that impact their eye health?
Yes, obviously, we get to see the processed foods being high in salt and high in sugars normally. And now these are exposing us to higher risks of type 2 diabetes, and hypertension in the long run. And as we said earlier, that with type 2 diabetes, it is, or diabetes generally, it is not only affecting the other parts of the body, but also the eyes. We get to see the diabetic eye, and this is not, this is going to lead to blindness over time. Or even when the retinal has been affected by the hypertension, it's also going to lead to blindness over time. So we get to see a lot of our people coming to hospital to the only time they get to realize, oh my God, this is really bad, is when some of these organs are being damaged. The eyes, when someone cannot see, it's now when they think it's important to work on their blood sugars or on their hypertension. But if at all we get to look at health in a preventative manner, how about we reduce on the amounts of processed foods that we are eating, and especially the ones we are exposing our children to? When we see through the containers of school-going children, we find that we're only seeing crisps, chips, we are seeing sodas, Minute Maid, like sugary beverages, and or we are seeing like salty snacks. Now, this is in the long run bringing about high levels of blood sugar, increasing your risk of getting hypertension, and we shall then see our eyes being damaged. So it obviously has an impact on our eyes. And if we can work in reverse and use healthy snacks, for instance, the fruits and the vegetables, they are good at supplying just the necessary nutrients, like the vitamin A we talked about, the vitamin C, the vitamin E, the zinc, the omega-3 fatty acids. These are good, and they can be gotten from nuts, they can be gotten from the fruits, which many of the younger children actually appreciate, but also the older people. We get to appreciate the taste of the fruits. So how about, instead of taking, let's say, the sugary juices from the fruits, how about we eat the whole fruit? So we can maximize on the nutrients, but also reduce the exposure to, the sugars in the body. How about we get to snack on just the vegetables? You can have a vegetable salad that actually tastes really nice if you get to, put in the time to prepare it well, or even buy it from a trusted, restaurant. So with processed foods, there is a lot of salt and a lot of sugar that are in the long run going to damage the eyes. And we can reverse that by using healthier options like the fruits, the nuts. Instead of giving someone crisps, how about you give them walnuts? How about you give them almonds or just the nuts, with very little salt, especially things that you've prepared, at home, where you can actually determine how much you put in. We get? Yeah.
Abraham.
Yes.
These nutritionists are saying a lot of good things about food. Can improved diet actually prevent cataract in old people? From a clinical point of view.
Yeah, from the clinical point of view, there are very many causes of cataract. There are very many types of cataract. So we can have congenital cataract. Someone is born with a cataract, like they are born with it. We could have a traumatic cataract. You're in a road traffic accident, or maybe someone takes a punch at your eye, or anything that can really traumatize your eye. Yes, and you come with a traumatic cataract. We can have a senile cataract, usually cataract that comes as a result of degenerative changes that happen as we age. We can have a cataract due to, like she was saying, those non-communicable diseases, especially diabetes. So what usually happens in diabetes is you have like high blood sugars, and these sugars tend to move from the blood sugar and the sugar in the fluid of the eye. The one we call aqueous humor is closely related. So high blood sugar means high sugar in the aqueous humor, and this sugar usually tends to enter the lens. So when it enters the lens, it is converted to another sugar that is called sorbitol, and sorbitol is not as transparent as any other of those things that are found in the lens. So it tends to, yeah, in the long term cause changes that actually lead to cataract. So yes, when the nutritionist says nutrition can actually be a remedy to preventing long-term development of cataracts, they are right, because nutrition is prevention to everything. Yes, it might not prevent certain types of cataract. Like I've said, you can be in an accident and you get a cataract. But these biochemical physiological changes that happen and cause cataract and any other of those other conditions, diabetic retinopathy, retinal vein occlusion. Yeah, most of those things they have elements from nutrition, genetics, and all. Yeah, so you having a proper nutrition is not really not just for eyes, but for everything almost in the body. Yes, so it is right. It is remedy not just for cataract, but for a whole range of eye conditions. We have something we call xerophthalmia. Xerophthalmia is dry eye
Yeah.
as a result of vitamin A deficiency.
Mm.
Yeah, so we tend to see this a lot, and it manifests in a lot of ways. You have corneal ulcers, you have ulcers on the cornea like wounds, you have dry eye as well as a result of not taking vitamin A enough. And yeah, it is like she's saying, it is available. You don't even need supplements, like it is available as long as you're eating salad well, like yeah, she knows better, but yes,
So,
nutrition is really important.
so that means dating a nutritionist is now the real deal here, because imagine all those vitamins, both in person and kind. Okay, so
Everyone needs a nutritionist, at least.
but some are more qualified than others. Abraham, in just a minute or two, as we prepare to conclude this session, what are some of 2, 3 simple daily habits you wish everyone knew or everyone would adopt to protect their eyes?
I think we've really said a lot, and we shall be sort of like recapping, to finish it off. So, like I said, some of these eye conditions that are going to predispose you, they are not like a fever. Hypertension is not a fever. You're not going to feel it. So just do a checkup. Check your blood pressure. Go to an eye doctor and get a checkup at least every 2 years. Yeah, check on your eyes. Secondly, I mentioned the 20-20-20 rule. After 20 minutes of looking at your device, look 20 feet away for 20 seconds. Yeah, then yes, the nutrition has really hinted on it. Eat very well. Yeah, eat those things she has recommended. Stay hydrated, sleep well enough, avoid devices like way towards your sleep. Have like at least like 30 minutes to 1 hour of not being on your device before you go to your bed. It's really important. Don't self-medicate. Don't put unprescribed things in your eye. We have people tend to put urine, they put breast milk, they put honey, they put. Yeah, I think we should get time and come back to address just that, because there is really a lot of trouble going on as far as use of traditional eye medicine is concerned, and it's causing a lot of trouble. Yes, stop
Especially breast
smoking.
milk and men. Mm.
Yes, stop smoking.
Okay.
Yes, so smoking affects the vessels, it affects the blood vessels, and as we've seen, an eye is an organ of blood vessels, especially those small blood vessels. So
Mm.
once you're smoking, you get issues with retinal veins, retinal arteries, then you end up with very many other problems, including brightness. Yeah, then like I've said, keep your screen at one arm's length. Blink
Um.
often while using devices.
Mm.
And limit like try as much as there are even apps that actually help you manage your screen time and all.
Mm.
Yes, and then don't give devices to children when they are still young. Encourage them to do outdoor plays, play with their friends outside the house. Yes, for those who are diabetic and hypertensive, make sure your glucose is well controlled. Make sure your blood pressures are within range. Keep in touch with your doctors to make sure all those things are controlled. Otherwise, they have an effect on the retina and the intraocular pressures. Yes, in case something happens to your eye, you get
Mm.
like an injury or something, don't power there things. You can actually wash your eye, have clean water, like boiled water. Let's say maybe you got like a foreign body, something has hit your eye, or maybe like a dangerous chemical has poured in your eye. You can wash your eye with running water for like maybe 20 minutes. And washing your eye doesn't mean washing your face. Like water should enter your eye. Just open your eye. I don't know if you're seeing me.
Yeah.
Retract your eye like this and look up. Then have what you're raising with and pour water directly in your eye continuous, or have someone do it. Not very aggressive to damage, but then yes. So after like 10 minutes of that continuous washing, yes, it's going to really help you. Yeah, it is like a form of first aid. So if it was something corrosive, you probably had done like half of the work the doctor was going to do. Only that you're doing it in time before you reach the hospital. Because for us in our settings, those clinics are even very congested. Yeah.
Okay. Abraham, Malcolm,
Yes.
uh, we all spend a lot of time on screens. And for example, my whole work, I'm an imaging specialist. I work with computers the whole of my day. My shift is 10 hours a day. So you've just finished a 10-hour work day staring at screens. Your eyes are tired, dry, and blurry. Mark, are there any foods or drinks that can help release or reduce this kind of fatigue?
Okay, to start with, as the doctor said, as much as we're working, let's use the 2020 rule because it's doable. You
Yeah.
just probably need a reminder every now and then. And
Mm.
when it comes to food, for us to be able to support our eyes, we actually, throughout the day, as you do the work that you do, just drink on your water. You don't need to like drink a whole liter once and then sit and probably in the evening wait to drink another liter for you to do 2 liters. No,
Mm.
drink on your water throughout the day. You have like 3 sips every after 7 minutes, or 10 sips every after 30 minutes. Like, just have your water with you. And then the other thing, I know for all the work that we do, we get to have health breaks. And these health breaks are probably for lunch or breakfast. Use that time to exercise, just the normal exercises, stretch, and probably just jump to change the whole environment of your body. And it is also going to impact your eyes. Just exercising is also part of, a way to support your eyes. And in that very break, have a number of fruits available for you to feed on. These are going to provide the vitamin A that we hugely need, the beta carotene, the lentin, the vitamin C, the vitamin E. They are high, especially in the fruits and the vegetables. And then the antioxidants and anti inflammatory elements. So I expect that we're going to have our carrots, we're going to have our tomatoes, we're going to have a spinach, we're going to have kale, we're going to have pumpkins or pumpkin seeds, or those healthy parts of the day. Use them to feed on, or to snack actually on healthy snacks that can help you get the nutrients your eyes need to be able to protect itself from the cancers, from the macular degeneration. Now, when we talk about prevention, it doesn't mean that we are saying with nutrition you can't, if in case you eat pretty well, you cannot get some of these conditions. As the doctor said, some of them are beyond nutrition, like the accident. You have no control over that. But with proper nutrition, you're going to help either to prevent or to manage, so that you do not have exacerbated negative results. You're going to take less time healing with proper nutrition than someone who is only relying, let's say, on medication. And with proper hydration, you're obviously going to help your eyes, prevent a number of diseases. Even physically, just washing your eyes with just clean water, it's enough to help prevent, let's say, if something went into your eyes and it would end up causing you blindness, if in case you didn't, care early enough, then also drinking the water directly, it's going to help you prevent the dryness. So I think with nutrition, it's about us being very intentional. During your 8 hours, your 16 hours on the screen, break off and drink your water. Just drink, your water. Eat your fruits.
Abraham, you've talked about digital strain and dry eyes, and someone is asking, in case I realize I've got dry eyes due to either too much watching. I remember there is a time I used to love a movie called Prison Break. So when I got here in the US, I got to Netflix and, I found it. So I watched it for like 1 week. And I remember developing the condition you've been explaining. What could be the immediate remedy for if someone realizes that maybe their eyes are dry?
Yeah, thank you for that. So you realize that you have dry eye. Yeah, and one thing I really want to separate myself from is the word improvising. And as far as eye health is concerned, please let's not improvise. So if you think you have dry eye, yeah, go to an eye care specialist.
Okay.
Yes, contact a doctor because what you might be thinking is dry eye might not be dry eye. So if your eyes are dry, go to a doctor, they will examine you. And once they've looked at your eye under a slit lamp, because there are things that can tell that someone actually has a dry eye. So it is the doctor to make that diagnosis of dry eye syndrome, not you as a person. Then the condition is treatable. They'll give you the necessary medications to treat that dry eye. So the answer to that question and many other questions of I'm losing vision in my eye. I've gotten an injury in my eye. Yeah, kindly see an eye specialist.
Okay. Malka, there is a lot of buzz these days about food supplements versus the natural balanced diet. You people are coming up with a supplement almost on everything. So people that actually naturally eating are now worried, are asking themselves, are we eating enough or we need to supplement with supplements? Can you talk about
Um,
things like lutein, zinc, omega-3 as it refers to eye health? Or you feel a balanced diet that, like you've explained it, is enough? When should I know that I need actually supplements for my eyes?
um, to to be honest, supplements are needed, but only when necessary. Our bodies are meant to be consuming food. The body was created to appreciate food. So whatever you put in the body that is not either water or food, it's not supposed to be there for a long period of time. The difference with food supplements is they are a concentration of a certain nutrient. And still, this means that with the different nutrients, especially the micronutrients like the lutein, the zinc, the omega-3 fatty acids, they are not needed in very huge amounts in the body. However, they are still needed in their small amounts. As we age, our bodies lose the ability to sometimes extract them from the foods that we eat. That is why we see a lot of supplementation in people above, 45, above 50. We get to see a lot of supplementation because the body is degenerating naturally, and you need to support it extra for you to be able to keep it healthy. And that's why most of the supplements were created. Unfortunately, these supplements are being used even by the younger people, and whether young or old, we're still going to say your body still needs food, because the food provides way more than we actually know. Up to now, we may not be able to fully know how much of a certain nutrient or all the nutrients within a certain food. And even certain foods, not even certain foods, but most of the foods have what we call what we call non-food elements, non-nutrient elements in them, like the antioxidants elements, the anti-inflammatory elements. Those are things that can also be concentrated into a supplement, but the natural part of food can never be completely outshined by any supplement. Supplements are supposed to be taken for a certain period of time, for a certain reason, and even to go extra, you're supposed to know if, in case you're taking a vitamin A supplement, let's say, you go and do your blood work to see how much of the vitamin A do you have in your body. Is it deficient really, or is it not deficient? Because any excesses of even these supplements, we're going to get what we call toxicity of these elements, and they're still going to cause problems to our bodies. So with supplementation, we can only come in when, if someone is already having an eye problem, that means they need extra nutrients to be able to support themselves. We are going to focus on the foods first. You have your carrots, have your tomatoes, have your spinach. These are rich in vitamin A. Have your, even lutein is very much in the spinach, in the kale, in the green vegetables. The zinc you can find in the pumpkins. You can find the omega-3 fatty acids in the fatty fish. So for all the nutrients that you need, there are foods that actually have these nutrients. It's only when you're really like in a serious part of the eye health condition that we're going to say, okay, let's have a supplement of lutein. And for a particular period of time, it could be a month or two, just to support the body to get the extra nutrients to, because now we already have a damage and we want to help it recover faster. That's the only time you're going to need a supplement. Yeah.
Okay, beautiful. So, Dr. Abraham, you've talked about screening. Actually, again, there are things that we take for granted, especially checkups. We still fight with people to check for things like high blood pressure. So I don't know what type of energy we need to use to emphasize eye checkups. Now we are in the generation where our children are almost spending more time on the screen than even the adults. So how early should children start having eye exams or checkups? And what should parents look out for? Again, when you're attending to that, also remind us how often we need to go for eye checkups as adults.
Okay, thank you very much. An eye checkup for a child should start as early as how can I say it? As they are born. Like I said, yes, like I said, some babies are born prematurely. So if your baby was born and they were premature, first of all, if your baby was below 1.7 kilograms at birth, if your baby spent some time on oxygen, they would really need to be screened for something called retinopathy or prematurity. Yeah, that abnormal growth of the vessels on the retina, and we usually follow them up usually until they've gone above 40 weeks. When you add the weeks of gestation plus the weeks after birth, yes, after they've reached 40 weeks and we are sure the vessels have grown properly to all the zones of the retina, then yeah, we can start following them up. But then other than that, as your child grows, at about 3 months, a child is supposed to start looking at things. They are supposed to start reaching out for things. Yes, so if your child is not reaching out for things, they are not reacting like to light or something, they are not reacting to bright things, then probably something is wrong with your eyes, wrong with that very baby's eyes. Then we have children who are born with strabismus or something we simply call squint. Yes, these bracts should be pointing in one direction. But when you find one is here and one is like here in the lateral canthus, or maybe is here, and they are not well aligned, yes, that is not really very good, and it needs to be corrected as soon as possible. Yeah, because every time they are not aligned means one of the eyes is not really focusing the image. Yeah, and it can cause amblyopia. It means that very eye has not is not working well. So there are some changes that are happening on the brain that are not good in line with vision of this very baby. There are some children who develop whiting in their eyes. Yeah, and at that very young age, there is a cancer that is common in children. It's called retinoblastoma. So look at your child and make sure if you see that kind of sign, you run to the doctor, because at very early age, at very early stage, it is highly treatable. Yeah, and you hope your child. Then you can have corneal scarring, so you have probably like a milkish white cornea. Then you can have bluing of eyes. There are babies who are born with glaucoma. So it is also very important to notice very early when a baby has gotten those changes, rush to an ophthalmologist, and then we can take it from there. Then about the devices, I would say as much as possible. Yes, delay devices to children as much as possible, because it's not really about just their eyes. It's going to help them develop socially. Yes, they will learn how to associate with their friends, because the thing is, if I'm inside the ear on a certain Nickelodeon channel, that is all I know. Like, I don't have enough time with my friends, so it affects brain development as much as it affects the eye. Yeah, and
Um,
then about,
yes.
yes, about the checkup, like we said, hypertension is not a fever. Glaucoma is not going to give you like significant signs that you actually sick and you need help. And the worst bit about some of these eye conditions is they cause irreversible blindness.
Mm.
Blindness caused by glaucoma is irreversible. We can't do anything about it. We can only salvage what is left. We can only preserve what you have left. So it is very important that at least every 2 years have an eye checkup. If you can manage, check your eyes every 1 year.
Okay. Amalka, your sister sends greetings. Nampera said hi. Okay. So, again, Malka, are there some
Yes.
specific vitamins or minerals that directly support the eyes? In
Yes. We have, I say hi to my sister. She's actually Flower.
oh,
And with the eyes, yes, we have obviously the vitamin A. And just to go back to the supplementation a bit, it is very vital that we get to supplement vitamin A early on in life, as we said earlier, for the first 6 months, and for every after 6 months for at least 5 years, to support the proper development of the retina and the eye generally from childhood. And this also continues to be a necessity, not in terms of supplementation, but the food can do just fine. Our vitamin A, we highly need our vitamin A and beta carotene gotten from those red, pinkish, fruits, the carrots, the tomatoes. We need, the mangoes, we need them. And the vitamin E, we're also going to need, and these are gotten from nuts, from seeds, from vegetable oils. So whoever is eating avocados on their food, it's a very big deal that you can get vitamin A from, the avocado. It's very good when it comes to supporting the cell damage or cell repair. Then we also need highly vitamin C, which is very good in providing the antioxidative elements, to lower the risks of cataracts and ulcers, and then the cancers as well. Then we shall need our lutein, as you said. They are also a type of antioxidants that are going to be very good in protecting the eye lens, in protecting the retina, and they can be gotten from the spinach, the kale, from the different green vegetables, and then the eggs or the egg yolks, particularly, they're rich in lutein. These are some of the vitamins that you need. Then we have the zinc. The zinc is very important as said earlier, in the melanin formation, which is a protective, element of the eyes. So we shall also need it highly. Basically, I think those are the really, really necessary vitamins and mineral, and then the omega-3 fatty acids as well. Yes.
I'm happy these days. I'm having a nutritionist because there is a time I'll talk about men health, and I think that they write down a list of concoction that works better. I'll let you know the topic of discussion when it comes
Oh,
to
by
men
the
health.
way, just a bit, we also
Yes.
highly need all the B vitamins, like
Okay.
all of them, the B2, B12, B6, the folate. We need them, especially for the degeneration part, because these are helping to build our cells, promote our cell energy and all that. So we need them to support the degeneration generally of our bodies, and hence the eyes as well.
Abraham, I have two friends of mine. In fact, one of them is watching Flavia Naluvega, and that question actually has just come up. And the other one is my friend who is a nurse in Rubaga. What's the real deal about the blue light glasses? Do they really help, or it's a trend? Because I'm someone who is afraid of glasses, and actually someone who never do anything. But these days, like those light blue glasses, I don't know if it's trend or they help. And then also the so-called sunglasses, of which some people walk with them at night. You go to night clubs, people are wearing them. So can you throw some lights actually on the glasses? And as you're concluding on that question, you also answer Flavia's question that is on the screen. She's saying, I've had people afraid of going for eye checkups for fear of being diagnosed with some eye defect and given specs to correct it. Yes, they claim they see well. That's also a big problem. I'm seeing well, I come to you, you're giving me glasses. But start with the light blue glasses, then you end with this one.
Okay, so yes, there is a trend of blue eye. I can call them blue eye filters. So yes, the literature is not really conclusive. So there is a brief that blue light, which is part of the normal spectrum of the light we get from. Let me charge my device. Sorry for the inconvenience.
Okay, Marka, as Abraham connects his device, again, can you emphasize, as we conclude on this, the impact of hydration on eye health?
Well. As we said, water is life, and even for our eyes, water is still life. In the physical, cleansing to prevent anything external from damaging our eyes, but also in the internal, that is the body hydration, to supply the body with enough water to be able to do its activities, to be able to use it to produce energy for you to see very well, to be able to use it in the transportation of the different nutrients, because for every part of the body, it is through the water in the blood that the different nutrients are being transported at different areas, with support of obviously other mechanisms and organs. So we need water in prevention of eye dryness. There is a lot of causes that are going to come about to bring about the eye dryness, but with proper hydration, you are helping the eyes not to get to that point, or even if in case you're already there, to help it recover faster. But just for proper delivery of nutrients, energy production. We just need our water in the body. So you have no excuse at any one point. Just keep on drinking your water. Yeah. Doctor
Okay.
is back.
Yes, Abraham.
Yes, sorry for the inconvenience. So yes, we are talking about blue light filters. So yeah, I think it really depends because we do not think blue light necessarily is harmful to the eye. Yeah, what is really significant is blue light is involved in this in the, we call them circadian rhythms, or what we can simply call cycles of sleep or sleep cycles. So, like I had said, it is important that you take probably 30 minutes to 2 hours, or maybe 1 hour before you get to bed, where you have like that break from your devices. Yeah, and part of that is you're not exposed to yeah, to these screens which emit blue light as part of the spectrum that is emitted. Yeah, because in one way or another it is going to interrupt your quality of sleep. Yes, other than that, yes, there have been some literature saying it can cause retinitis. All I'm saying is you do not really want to find out the hard way. So yeah, like we've said, let's regulate the way we use devices. Yeah, the filters are really not harmful, so I don't see any problem with someone who chooses to wear blue glass filters. Yeah, they can put on as long as they can tolerate them. Uh, then you had asked about sunglasses, and sunglasses sometimes they can be prescribed, or or they are or they are self-prescribed. So sunglasses, what they usually do is they they screen out ultraviolet radiation. Ultraviolet radiation is ultraviolet radiation is radiation from the sun, and it is part of the spectrum that is emitted as well. So, and it predisposes our eyes to certain conditions, cataract, yeah, and other conditions, pterygium and all. So, yes, putting on those glasses would be advisable in people who work a lot from like sunny environments. You're probably like maybe a metal worker and you spend your whole day in the sun. The sunglasses would be advisable. You've probably maybe like these border guys, like you spend the whole day in the sun. It would be good for you to have those ultraviolet filtering glasses. Then the other thing, these guys, yes, like we've said, this welder's occupation, yeah, can really inform your decision. Because apart from filtering out actually those rays, they protect your eyes. Because you're on a border, some of them don't put on helmets, and like the wind is coming straight into your eyes, so it is washing away whichever tear film is from it. Yes, in the end, you end up with a dry eye. So those glasses can even save you from having a dry eye. Yeah, but much more importantly, yeah, they protect you from that overexposure to to ultraviolet radiation.
Okay. Lastly, as we close this program today, what are some of the key warning signs for people over the age over 40 years that they should not ignore when it comes to their eyes?
Yes, once you're above 40 years, you've began to age, so some of the degenerative changes have started. So if you are there and you start seeing, we call them floaters, you start
Mm,
seeing things moving around in your field of view,
mm,
yeah, make sure you see a doctor because it can be a range of things that are not really nice. It can be a sign of retinal detachment, yeah, which is an emergency. It can be, yeah, very many things. If you are out there and you start losing your peripheral vision, like you can see things in the center, but the things in the sides are not good. Yeah,
mm,
it is very important that you go and see a doctor, as that can be an early warning sign for glaucoma. And like we said, brain is from glaucoma is not reversible. If you start losing central vision, like you can see
mm,
things in the side, but in front you're not seeing very well, like in the
mm,
center. Yes, it is also a sign that you should see a doctor. If you have increased tearing,
mm,
yeah, you need to see a doctor. If you see anything growing on your eye, yeah, eyes are not exempt from cancers. Yeah, especially for people who have grown older, we have those tumors. Yeah, they can start from the conjunctiva. They can start from anywhere. So if you see abnormal blood vessels, a swelling, or any growth on your eye, really make sure you hurry to see a doctor. If you have those unexplained headaches every time you try to focus, yes, see a doctor. If you fear to look at light, like every time you get light in your eyes, it causes pain, it causes discomfort. Make sure you see a doctor.
Last, doctor, also talk about people who have phones. Sometimes some people put on light, other people want to use their phones in the darkness. In a minute, can you talk about that? What is better and why?
I think having your phone with light on is better. Yeah, because first of all, you are in a well lit room. Like your environment has light, and the more light is uniform around you, the better for you. It decreases that eye strain that, like, you have a lot of light coming in from one point and somehow your eye is trying to focus it all on one point. So that digital eye strain we are talking about is worse when you're on your device and everything around you is dark and you're just on that small phone trying to very hard to focus all that light. Yes. Yeah, and
Oh,
someone who talked about checkup and being given glasses. There is a common belief
yes.
that that you putting on prescription lens is actually worsen as your short-sightedness. It's not true. It is not true at all. In fact, it, it improves it improves your sight and it helps you from a number of problems. Maybe one thing that people need to appreciate is a refractive disorder or something as innocent as short-sightedness can actually lead to something as bad as a cataract. So you living every day with a refractive error that you don't want to correct can actually cause more problems. So it is better for you to go to the hospital and have that refractive error corrected, get your glasses, put them on religiously. Yeah, other than just being on your own.
Doctor, you've talked about all preventive measures, but you've not talked about washing eyes in the morning. There is also a lot of misconception. Some people say when you overwash it, it's not good. Some people say when you wash them, it's very good. And which is which?
I don't know what you mean by washing when you say washing in this case,
Washing your
because
eyes in the
our
morning,
washing
or
is usually irrigation and
mm,
washing your eyes or washing your face.
washing your eyes,
Yes, so I
because
But I think most
the
people
eyes
wash
have
their face, not their
yes,
eyes.
yes,
yeah.
because so many times people wash their face, but their eyes are that, and they say, my doctor told me that early morning water in the eyes is not good.
I don't really think there is an issue with that. You just do not have to keep on pouring water in your eye directly because first of all you don't know what you're putting there. The status of the waters per microbes are concerned. But clean your face. Clean it very well. Remove any debris that accumulated overnight. Yeah, don't move out with dirty eyes. Other than that, you do not need to open your eyes and actually like rinse them if something has not fallen there really. Yeah, just wash your face properly, have your eyes on the outside cleaned very well. You'll be good to go.
And lastly, on this, doctor, can you conclude by talking about smoking, alcohol, and medications? In about a minute or two, I see Malka wants to go and have some prayers, morning prayers.
Okay. Yes, like we said, stop smoking. There's no advantage of smoking. Smoking in this very case causes issues with the small blood vessels, and the eye has very small blood vessels. So you end up with very many issues as far as the retina is concerned. Yes, alcohol as well. It's not good for anything really. So it is very good for you to, if you cannot stop, just reduce. Make sure you reduce, and who knows, one day you are going to stop. Then medications, self-medication is not good. Yeah, do not self-medicate. Most of the times, some you go to people and yeah, apart from traditional eye medicine, is usually people are going to give you steroids. Like the only eye medicine people know are usually those steroid eye drops. So someone turns up with an ulcer on the cornea, then they give eye drops. And what we know from medical background is those steroids usually like they do what? They press on the immunity and they stop it from working. So now the bacteria has like a fertile ground to grow, and before you know it, someone's eye is perforated. Then now we have to remove it. Not very good things. So do not self-medicate. The eye is complicated. Take it to the people who know it, and they will help you. Yeah.
Okay. Malka, what are your last words as a nutritionist when regards nutrition of the eye as we close this topic today?
When it comes to nutrition of the eye, what I can say for our children below 5 years, get them supplemented on vitamin A because normally we do not provide enough food for the supplement or for the vitamin A needs in the body. And they highly, highly need it for proper development of the retina. And then for ourselves as adults, let's have rainbow kind of plate. Actually, even for the children, let's just serve a rainbow kind of plate. Have a plate that has a number of colors from the different foods. Eat on your purple foods, eat on your yellow foods, eat on your green foods. You have the white foods as well. You can have the red foods. Like just have all these colors on your plate so that we can pick on as many nutrients from the different foods as possible. And as we said, some of the very, very key nutrients we have vitamin C, which are gotten from the citrus fruits. We have vitamin A carrots and the beta from the carrots, from the spinach, from the mangoes. Let's have zinc, from the pumpkins, from the groundnuts. Let's have omega-3 fatty acids from the fatty fish and the flax seeds. And let's have our lentil also from the green vegetables. These are going to be very helpful in promoting the health of our eyes. And let's keep drinking our water. So with that, I'll actually invite you to join the Drink More Water Challenge, where we just get to work on ourselves, like remind ourselves to drink more water. Because with more water, you're not only helping the eyes, but through the water, we're helping our blood sugars, we're helping our blood pressure. And with all those diseases supported to be properly managed, that means that we're also helping the eyes. And then about the snacks and these foods that we get, the fast foods, let's try to cut them as much as possible. Most of them can actually be prepared in either a healthy manner or completely left out where unnecessary. You do not have needs for alcohol. I might be biased, but even the doctor has said, who is probably not biased by the religion, you don't need alcohol. You don't need to smoke. You don't need a very sweet very sweet beverages. You don't need very salty snacks for the health of your eyes and your whole body. That's what I would say.
Thank you so much, Dr. Abraham. What will be your closing remarks as an eye
Before
specialist?
Dr. Abraham, I beg just to put up one comment.
Yeah.
The carrots are better eaten when cooked a bit. The vitamin and the element that we need from the carrots for our eyes, it's more accessible when it's a bit cooked. So the habit of giving children, raw carrots, it's not as helpful as we think. Yeah, it's better we get the at least half cooked or cooked carrots. Yes.
Okay. Wow. New knowledge and learn to learn. Yes, Abraham, what will be your closing remarks today?
Yeah, very briefly, two things. One, common saying, prevention is better than cure. Yeah, it would really be nice if you did the things that would prevent you from coming to us. Yeah, everything we've discussed. Then secondly is the eye is complicated, it is delicate. And usually when things happen, it is very hard to reverse them. So please take very good care of it. Make sure it is protected at all costs. Yes, and don't do funny things with it. Make sure you take it to the doctor who is supposed to treat that very condition and who
Yes.
knows what is supposed to be done. Thank you.
And again, with that, we've come to the end of today's insightful conversation, caring for our eyes. A heartfelt thank yous to our guests. Maluka, thank you so much for always. Yours are always short notice, but like I said, the modern trend is that we should treat everything in a preventative manner, such that we prevent this infection. And so I'll be coming to you because I think this approach of including preventive measures like nutrition, which is the most natural way and the most accessible way, is the way to go. Because by the time we go to Dr. Abraham, we are talking of millions of money. So we would rather work with the cheapest mean of eating a cooked carrot a day than actually waiting for us to go to that. The next time we host Dr. Abraham, we are going to be talking about cataract, because that is something that is affecting so many people. We shall have an imaging expert, and then also we shall have a nutritionist on board to again discuss cataract. Thank you so much again, our panelists, for sharing your time, knowledge, and practical tips on how to protect our eyes. And to our audience, whether you've watched in live or you're going to watch after the show has ended, thank you so much for being part of this important discussion. We hope you're walking away with not just information, but inspiration to take better care of your eyes. Remember, health eyes is the only entry or the only opening or the only way to let in health information. Without eyes, you're going to live in a blind world, literally with nothing to see or enjoy. So take good care of those eyes, because like the doctor said, the eyes are very delicate, and yet you have to. So if you mishandle them, or if you lose any of them, chances are you may live the rest of your life without the other eye. Though transplants are now common and accessible, I believe many of you would not afford the cost that comes with that. So I think the cheapest way still is take good care of those eyes. To the parents listening in, we love our children so much. We bought them a lot of things in a way of showing love. But just like the two experts have shared, let us reduce the strain on the eyes of our children by reducing their screen time. It is a trend. When actually one panelist mentioned in Nickelodeon, I was a culprit because my daughter knew this song, I think, before she got to her second birthday. She knew which cartoon was coming after which. So, just like the usual programs, today we are unlearning to learn. Let us devise other ways of showing love to our children rather than giving them our screens. I've met babies, instead, when they start crying, we throw them a tap. So when they look at actually at things they don't understand, they keep quiet. But we are spoiling their eyes. We are spoiling not only their eyes, but also their brain. So let's protect the future generation by actually being more responsible parents, being more concerned parents, and then also thinking beyond the obvious box of I want to make this child keep quiet. Our role is always to speak. Your role is always to act. Again, I want to thank people that have commented. Flower, a special greetings to you. Malka Jaku Obaka Bwafe, Kato Jordan, Nalubega Flavia, and our first comment of the day, who was Deo, Lord Deo, all the way from Wakiso. Until next time, take good care of your life and yourself, and especially your eyes. May God bless you and have a blessed Sunday. Bye.
Bye.